That's how you really make extraordinary things happen in your life. But so many people are either looking outward, trying to stop people from hurting them, offending them, upsetting them.
Walked out one day at a time. Now faith was never designed to be passive. We ought to be aggressive, even in the waiting. How bad do you want it? When your why for overcoming is greater than the obstacle ceases to exist. Breakthroughs are engineered from the inside out.
And so the more you alter you, the more you begin to see things differently. What's is amazing about this is we control who we are by what we think about. Think about this just for a second. Wherever you're sitting watching this, the chair that you're sitting in, if you're sitting in a chair, if you're driving in a car and you're listening to this.
This is not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Listen to me, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Now is your time. It's your moment. It is your day. Now is your time to win. Now is your time to graduate. Now is your time to make a difference. Now is your time to have an impact. Now is your time to make straight A's. Now is your time to be noticed. Now is your time to be heard. Now is your time to be seen. Now is your time to do this. Think it's your moment. Now is my chance. Now is my opportunity. I am ready. Come on. I am ready. Come on. Let me hear you. I am ready. One more time. I am ready.
Making sure that they never take risks so that they can't fail, so that they're not embarrassed. That's their MO for dealing with those emotional insults. Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to point only 2 thumbs at myself, and I'm going to figure out what I can do to not be a slave to my emotions, to not let things upset me, and that sense of emotional resilience, and not to weaken the effect of this. You want to get to the point where nothing knocks you off course, where you were just completely centered. Now, of course, I'm not there. I don't know many people who are. The closer you can get to that ideal, the more effective you're going to be in your life. Question number 1. What is your self-talk when you have a substantial and bitter failure?
Breakthroughs happen when you begin to ask yourself the right questions. Refuse to give time, energy, or focus to things that don't belong in your future. Every challenge has a mindset required to overcome it. Your mouth is a creative weapon, not a tool for distributing excuses. The struggle is real, but so is the God that'll help you overcome it. The lies of the enemy cannot hide in an environment of truth. A prayer wrapped in doubt is not a prayer. That's a wish, and it has no power. The 3 things God always responds to are faith, love, and forgiveness.
Like not meeting an important deadline for your goals and realizing you're actually far behind. All right, this is one of those separating factors. When people realize that whenever you do anything other than take on that responsibility yourself, you are either permanently delaying the realization or temporarily delaying that such that you're unable to make progress. The goal of taking on the responsibility is not so that you feel badly about yourself. It's not so that you wallow in that bitter defeat or embarrassment or whatever. It is so you recognize the truth of the following statement. I'm not good at this yet, or I have not succeeded at this yet, or I made this mistake, but I'm never going to repeat it. It's the sense of how temporary that failure is, how temporary that embarrassment is. And there is a phenomenal phrase that I use all the time, that I invite you guys to make your self-talk.
Love is the power, and it changes everything it touches. God is love, and what is not of love is not of God. We are blessed and unstoppable. Happiness chases those who master the art of forgiveness. Never look at defeat as permanent, but see it as a temporary gestation period from which a greater victory will be born. Truth does not discriminate. She blesses all who embrace her. Thoughts and behaviors consistently aligned with success will eventually give birth to the outcomes that create it. Wisdom has not been fully accepted until it is consistently applied. The quickest way to overcome failure is to starve yourself of the thoughts and actions that allow it to sustain itself. Begging doesn't move God. Faith does. Faith is the only language spoken in heaven. Everything else is gibberish. When you master the things under your control, the uncontrollable eventually becomes irrelevant.
You got to believe in your ability. You got to believe that you can win. Now's the time where the talking is done. Now is the moment where you got to make a decision. And the decision is simply this. Are you ready to take the next step? Are you ready to start the new chapter? Are you ready to go and build a legacy? Are you ready? Are you ready? And listen, to me, when I tell you, you got to ask yourself this question, because what I don't want you to leave just being hyped up. I want you leaving here transformed. Listen to me very carefully. If you don't hear anything I say, I need you to catch.
That seat you're in started in someone's mind as a thought, right? Every detail of it, the fabric, the cushions, the way it's structured, every single piece of that started in someone's mind as a thought and then became a reality by putting out the pieces together. See, everything in life is that way as well. It always begins with a thought. When we think a new thought, here's what literally happens. Thinking a new thought literally opens a space up in our minds, in our lives, that never existed before prior to having that thought. It's like a brand new space you've created just by thinking it. And what happens is your unconscious and subconscious mind goes to work on filling in that space with the people, places, resources, and things.
That's what this is about. So you got to recognize when it gets tough, you better get tough. Easy does not count. Easy does not work. You can't cheat your way up. You got to push your way up. Not everyone is ready to be at the top. Not everyone is suitable to be at the top. If you're having a mental breakdown, then the body will believe everything that the mind is telling it to do. You got to understand, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. And if the mind ain't right, then the body won't be right. You have to understand that you have to have a connection, the connection of righteousness, the connection of fighting, the connection of faithfulness, and you
To fill it up like a room and an architect would, to fill up that space and fully furnish it. That's the power of how we think. So literally everything that exists started as a thought in someone's mind and then became a material matter. And so you've got to begin to think about the things you want to materialize in your life on a regular basis and think about it repetitiously. Literally the things that we obsess about become the things that we possess in our lives. Most people, those variable 9% of the thoughts is the new thing they're worried about, the new fear they have, the new response to an email they have to make, and they never dictate the terms. Remember this, your mind is a weapon, and you got to be able to use it and pick that weapon up and control it. Most people are out of control with their mind. They don't point it at something. They let the world point it, and they misfire all the time. So today, I want you to pick up that weapon that is your mind and begin to point it at the things you want, knowing that it's a magnet that draws to you the things in your life that you would most like to have or that you would most not like to have. And that's where most people make the mistakes in their life.
Your results will turn those who ignored you into fans. So don't slow your progress because you're trying to convince other people. Don't slow your progress because you're trying to drag too many people with you sometimes. You're not hitting your goals because you are carrying the weight of those around you. And some people are just not ready to go where you are going, and you've got to recognize that. Do not yield to distractions. Focus on you. So many people dream big dreams, but they never take any action.
and your abilities and your strength and your honor and your integrity. Everything that you do on this moment counts in this place. You can't wait for someone else to push you through it. You got to push yourself. You are born, and you are born to live and fight. So on this day and for the rest of your life, if you're working, work a little bit harder. You can't do easy. There is no easy and success. There is no easy and pushing that weight. There is no easy and running that extra mile. If it's easy, why are you doing it? If it's easy, how are you growing? If it's easy, how are you gonna be your best? Suffer now and get the rewards later. Don't ask for it. Take it. It's yours. Go get it. If you believe in the possibilities, then make it work for you.
If you don't believe in yourself, you've already lost the battle. Not believing in yourself is a losing battle because either you won't try at all or you will convince yourself that you can't do it. And when you convince yourself that you can't do it, your results are going to confirm what you believe. And when your results confirm what you predicted, then you're going to say, see, this is who I am. Why should I even try? That is where you begin to fall short of your goals. You fall short of your goals when you predict that you're not going to hit them. And sometimes you're too focused on probability. You're asking yourself, well, what's the likelihood of this happening? versus focusing on the possibility. Asking yourself, how would my life change,